We're a little lopsided, but hello everyone. I'm Dawn. Thank you so much for visiting with me today. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel, The Cutting Board. We do all kinds of things here. We do true crime, DIY, SFX makeup. We chat, we do vlogs, hauls, food content, and most importantly, at least to me, Disney content. I have lots of interests and I want to share them with you. This is not a Disney video for sure. We're not going to be talking about no Disney princess here. We gonna fight. We are going to fight. This is... This video was supposed to be my commentary to part 2 of Toddy One Skip's video regarding April Johns. But this thing came up and, well, we need to talk about it. And it is more important to talk about this than it is to talk about April Johns. The most hated mother in the world has decided to show her face on TikTok. Well, I use the term mother extremely loosely. She may have given birth to a child, but she was never a mother. She was never a mom. She was never a mommy, a mama, anything. Never. Is Caylee Anthony serious right now? I mean, is she okay? She has to know. She has got to know that we don't want her. We do not want her. I mean, a lot of us are divided on Gypsy Rose. Gypsy has a lot of supporters, and she has a lot of people that don't support her. But I am comfortable in saying, I am confident in saying probably 99.3% of us are not ever going to be Caylee Anthony supporters. Never. I know I'm not. And I think personally, when watching the trial and seeing the evidence that they had, the jury made the right call based on the law, in terms of the law, because it was a death penalty case in Florida. And I'm sorry, but if you really look at that evidence, it just wasn't concrete enough. It wasn't. Not for a jury to convict someone where they could potentially get the death penalty. Let's hope that doesn't happen in the Stephen Stearns case. But I don't care what anyone says. We all know she did it. Somehow, I honestly thought they would have had more evidence than what Nancy Grace showed on her show, you know. But all the evidence they had was just what Nancy Grace had. They didn't have anything else, you know. But still, she did it. I know she did it. We all know she did it. But like Jamie Foxx said in that one movie, I can't remember the name of it. I think Gerard Butler was in it also, but it was a really excellent movie, and I wish I could remember the name. It's a really good movie. It's not what you know. It's what you can prove in a court of law, and they didn't prove it. But we know. And now she wants to come forward and say she's an advocate. She's an advocate for something. No one wants you in any way, shape, or form advocating for them. Missy, you're a liar and a child. She's got me so upset I didn't even put any hair on today. She needs to miss us with all that. See, all of y'all went after Gypsy Rose over and over and over and over again. And I am guilty of that as well. I really am. And Caylee Anthony was looking at this and she was like, well, it seems like a lot of people hate Gypsy, but a lot of people like her too. And she is thriving, so this little heifer thought she could come forward and that she could, you know, kind of get some glory, you know, get partially embraced, you know. But still, get her name out of there. There is no partial for Caylee Anthony. There's no partial admiration or adoration for her. I can see both sides in the Gypsy Rose situation. I really, truly can. I can see why people side with her, and I can see why people do not side with her. I am capable of seeing the viewpoints of both sides. But if anyone sides with Caylee Anthony, you are really going to have to work hard to make people understand why. Again, I'm going to say it again. I can understand why people would be pro and why people would be anti-gypsy. I can't see why anyone would support Caylee Anthony in any way. She is a villain. She is a stone-cold villain, and I can't imagine anyone. I can't think of anyone who would be like, you go, girl. You go. That's right. Tear it up. Teach me what the proper dosage to give my child is to make her fall asleep in the trunk so I can go party with some douchebags. I'll do a little less than what you say because you go a little crazy with that. But she responded to all the backlash for her little TikTok talking about, the justice system and how she has been found not guilty and blah, blah, blah. Well, good for you for reading something, Caylee. Good for you, Caylee Anthony. But social media and society in general, we're not lawyers. We're not judges. We are people. And we are judging you more harshly than you'll ever be judged in a courtroom. Because we know what you did. You may have gotten away with it, but we know what you did. Just because the evidence it was just a tiny bit not strong enough to convict you. According to the jury, it was right on the precipice. But they didn't quite have it. It wasn't quite enough. But we know what you did, Caylee. We know. And no amount of crying and whining and talking about how much you miss your baby girl and all that. None of that's going to change it. It's not going to change what we know. We know what you did. They have to follow laws and guidelines and all kinds of mumbo jumbo little intricacies. The court of public opinion is completely different. And if you haven't realized that already in the past 14 or however many years, you're going to learn that. You're going to learn today. I mean, social media gets mad at people when someone says they don't eat carbs and then someone, catches them, spots them somewhere and catches them on film eating a piece of bread. That person gets canceled so fast. Imagine what they're going to do to Caylee Anthony. Well, actually, they might make her a superstar like they did with Gypsy Rose. Maybe. I don't think so, though, because Gypsy Rose has supporters, too. I don't think Caylee Anthony is going to have the kind of support that Gypsy Rose gets. And there is probably a small handful, but a handful of people that are like, nah, she all right. So we don't care if you read a few books, Caylee. We don't care if you did a little reading on the legal system. You should have started with what to expect when you're expecting, and then continue with all the parenting books in Barnes & Noble. That's what you should have done before that baby came out. So let's look at her little TikTok, shall we?
I sweat to death. Okay. Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. This is my first of probably many recordings on a series that I'm starting. I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011. And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself.
I'm going to break it up into several clips. Oh, you guys, she wants to advocate. She wants to be an advocate. Let me guess. She wants to advocate for parents who have unalived their children to help them get legal counsel that will sweep it all under the rug. She wants to advocate for people to help them get away with their vicious crimes against their own children. Is that what she wants to advocate for? I do want to say that I don't necessarily think that she killed Caylee intentionally. I don't think it was intentionally, but it was everything she did afterwards that is the most sickening part. I think she gave her too many drugs, and that killed her, and she decided to just lie. She was trying to subdue and put the kid to sleep so she can party because she can't keep the clamshell under control. That's all she was trying to do, just party. She was trying to get cookies in her cookie jar and needed the kid to sleep already so she could do it peacefully. Well, I guess it's peaceful now, isn't it? She wanted to party, and nothing cramps a party like a toddler. But yeah, I bet everybody is relieved that Caylee Anthony is going to be an advocate for something. Good for her. Hopefully she won't suck as bad as she did parenting. And hopefully she won't be advocating for children.
And also advocate for my daughter.
Oops. I guess I was wrong there. She's going to advocate for herself and her daughter that she unalived. The only thing she can do to advocate for Caylee is to come on national television and admit to everybody what she did. She can't be tried again for it. She can't go on trial again for it, so she may as well just admit what she did, and take full responsibility for it. Well, she can't take full responsibility because she can't be charged with it now, but See, this female thing has spent an entire lifetime never having to be responsible or accountable for anything. Her mommy and daddy held her little hand through her whole life, and look at their relationship now. It's nothing. And then when they stopped holding her hand, she got God knows who else to hold her little hand and take care of her. But she has never had to be responsible for anything ever. She has never been held accountable for anything ever, and that's why her behavior was so atrocious to begin with. And I'm sorry, excuse my language. I won't actually say the whole word. I'll try not to. But if her sitting there having the nerve to say she's going to advocate for Caylee, F her for that. The nerve of her. She's going to advocate for Caylee? Really? She couldn't sit her hot ass down and stay home with Caylee instead of go out partying and, pissing in the parking lot. But now she wants to advocate for her now. Okay, interesting.
For those of you who don't know, my name is Caylee Anthony. My daughter is Caylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done. That's not to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself.
She has to reintroduce herself because she doesn't like that Gypsy Rose is one of the most disliked people on social media. I'm not saying that to be mean, you guys who are Gypsy supporters. That's a fact. People don't like her. But she needs to steal her crown back. She needs to get that crown. But I got to tell you, I'd rather be in the company of Gypsy Rose than in the company of this person, this thing. And I'm sorry I keep calling her that, but she is something else. She is. She's just a little Miss Hot Pants and a child killer. This woman is evil. And she's not evil necessarily for accidentally killing her, if that's what happened. She's evil for everything that happened afterwards. And if what happened to Caylee was an accident and she came forward, and said it was an accident, this is what happened. I didn't want her to die. I didn't mean for this to happen, but I did it. That would be different. But this cover up or whatever she's tried to pull off for all these years, that's what makes her evil. How you can bring a beautiful child into this world and end their little life just so you can switch your hot ass around town. and then lie about it after all these years. You keep it up. Again, we know she did this. We know she did this. But again, it doesn't matter what we know. It matters what you can prove in a court of law. And apparently they didn't prove it. But we still know. And this, again, this isn't the court of law anymore. This is the court of public opinion, and we are brutal. This is the court of society. You know what I mean? And she might not think that this is fair, that we're not giving her a chance to reintroduce herself, into society or whatever, into social media. Oh, it's so unfair, isn't it? What's unfair is Caylee Anthony isn't 6 feet under the ground. That's what's not fair. What's not fair is that little girl isn't 19 years old today. This bitch really needs to just give me a frickin' break. She really does. Now, I don't really give that much of a damn about her parents. I couldn't care less what she has to say about them or what's going on with them or whatever, because they, in my opinion, are, they're responsible for this too. They are too. They tried their little things to cover it up. She's just going to come out and spew lie after lie after lie about them, and I just don't care.
I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity.
Oh, piss off. Just piss off. Professional capacity. Like when she was a professional, when she worked for Universal, but she didn't work for Universal, and she actually made up coworkers. She just needs to piss off.
Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity. My goal is to continue to help give a voice to people, to give people tools and resources that they can utilize so they actually know where they can turn to.
Too bad little Caylee didn't have anyone to turn to prevent herself from being unalived by you, Cal. This woman is so full of shit. How she can sit in this car and make this video after what she did and after what we all know she did and after what she's been trying to hide from all these years. How dare she? How dare she?
So with that, please join me on Substack. If you have questions, I will set up an email address where we can correspond directly. Up until this point, that has never happened. And it's only going to be on a limited basis regarding legal issues, legal matters. One of the main reasons that I'm doing this, there are people close to me who have been targeted and attacked recently. There are also people close to me who have had some recent things occur. And
probably because of their relationship with you. No one should be involved with this woman. No one. She should be alone. No one should be involved with her in any capacity. Oh, she likes those words. Capacity and professional. It makes her feel, like a big girl. Professional capacity. I'm a professional. She's a slack-ass child killer that got incredibly lucky. That's what she is.
And when necessary, people needed to step up, myself included. So, as a proponent for the LGBTQ community.
Bitch, girl, baby girl, no, you do not speak for the LGBTQ community. Now, no, I'm not really someone that can speak for them either, but as an ally, let me say this. I am almost 100% confidently sure they don't want you. They don't need you. One of the most marginalized groups in the world does not need the most hated female in the world speaking on their behalf. Thank you. They don't need that. They really don't.
For our legal community, women's rights.
Oh, so she wants to act like she's an advocate for all marginalized groups, so people will embrace her. She's just throwing those noodles at everybody. I wonder what it is she wants to do for women's rights specifically. Get women the right to kill their children? Women's rights. This is the entitled little bitch who literally got away with murder. Stay away from women's rights, ho. Stay away from them. I'm going to speak for all women right now. Bitch, we don't want you. We don't. We really don't. We have amazing advocates out there. We don't need you. And we are raising amazing advocates. We don't need you. Why don't you advocate for Zanny the nanny? Oh, oops. Right, she doesn't exist. Forgot about that. Totally forgot about that.
I feel that it's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me.
I bet something's been thrusting at her, but it's not this platform. This platform has been thrust upon her. Give me a break. It was thrust upon me too when I signed up for it on my own free will. Yeah, it was thrust upon me. Just thrust upon me. So unfair that this TikTok was thrust upon me. Give me a break. I'm sorry. That's some funny stuff right there. Thrust upon her.
And now look at it as a blessing as opposed to the curse that it has been since 2008.
Maybe it should have been a blessing or maybe it could have been a blessing all these years if you didn't get here because you killed your child. Of course, it's not going to be much of a blessing when you killed your child. People have a problem with people who kill their children and get away with it. We don't like that. Call us crazy.
With that, these aren't going to be perfect. They're not going to be edited. Most of the time, they're not going to be short. But I am proverbially standing in the light, embracing this piece, still going to keep my privacy intact. So you will get very comfortable with my car. And I will explain in great detail why it's so important for people to protect their privacy.
I don't think we need her to explain to us why it's so important for her to protect her privacy. Absolutely. Protect it. What with her being a child killer and all, you don't want people to be able to find you. She's just trying to get into everybody's good graces, and it's not going to happen. Nobody has good graces for her. I have shown Gypsy Rose grace. I have shown other really bad people grace, even when I know they didn't deserve it. I am not showing this heifer any. None. She gets none of it. And you might think that's unfair or harsh, and if you do, I respect that, but I give her no grace. I really don't.
It's not just important to public figures, it's even more important to private individuals. And
especially people that murder their children and literally get away with it in a court of law. I can't believe this bitch gets a platform. But she was found not guilty, so I guess it is what it is. But we don't have to accept that. We don't have to accept her. We sure don't. We sure don't.
With the current climate in our country especially, it's that much more important, which is why I am utilizing the Substack platform. Yes, I am advertising this and publishing this on TikTok, possibly also through other meta platforms, but my intention is to separate from that and showcase even more why Substack is such an important resource for people to utilize moving forward. Anyway, I appreciate your time, and we'll see how this goes.
We'll see how it goes. Well, I think that we, the people, should ensure that it goes very, 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 very poorly for her. This is an evil being. She is a thing that has never owned up to what she's done. Because, again, she wanted to party. She wanted to drink. She wanted to pee in the parking lot. She wanted to, run around with guys You know, party. You want to party. She has no business lecturing anyone about anything or giving anybody any kind of advice ever on anything. None. This is the kind of POS that can have children. Her reproductive organs should have been ripped out. They should have been ripped right out of her. Just reach up there and tear them out. Sorry, I'm getting heated. I'm getting very heated. Oh, and give this clip a listen. This is a former cellmate of Caylee Anthony's from her jail days. Give it a little listen.
Well, she said that she used to knock the baby out so she can go party. And she would put her to sleep, and then when she'll come back, the baby would still be asleep, and the next day she's awake. So that's how that came up.
Did she say what she used to knock her out?
I can't pronounce it. I can't pronounce it that well. Foam. I can't pronounce it. It's I know it's. I don't know much about it, but I know it's some type of chemical. It's chloroform. I can't pronounce it.
She said that?
Yeah.
What did she say? Tell me more about that.
I know that how she did it was she would pour it on like a rag, like a wash rag, and put it over the baby's face, so she'll inhale it, and that will knock her out.
Now, I haven't had a chance to verify that, so take it for what it's worth. So, there you go. I guess that's it for this video. Probably won't be the last one where we talk about this person. So, I'll catch you next time. And we will be covering that Toddy video. And, you know, I'll talk to everybody later. Bye!